Hey, there we go. Hi, how's it going? Welcome. And so, if you're a business owner, you are struggling to sell your business right now. Um, if you are an operator, you are looking at how you can prepare a business. I'm speaking about small to medium sized enterprises. And so, if you're struggling to basically get the business to a certain state so that it's exit ready at any time. You could also be a broker or a buyer. If you're a buyer and you're looking for businesses and you don't necessarily know exactly what to look at, I'm not talking about looking at profits and looking at revenue and averaging revenue over 12 months and whatnot. I'm talking about deeper things. I'm talking about looking at traffic systems and skills as a baseline. And we're going to drill down a little bit deeper into that. We're going to look at the brick and mortar part of the business, and we're going to look at the digital side of the business. There's so much after I have analyzed just over 1,000 SME businesses that are for sale and many, many more businesses that are trying to scale. I and some of my people in my network have actually found patterns, and I want to share this stuff with you. I can't keep quiet about it. I mean, you can see there's some, where is that? There we go. I'm just using software, whatever I can get, so that I can just broadcast this and just get the right people um, that want to have information, that want to understand how this works. If you're looking to buy a business, I mean, we're in the biggest handshake of all time in human history. And what that means is that there's a number of around over $3 trillion worth of businesses that are busy swapping or changing hands from one generation to the next worldwide. So, within the next 10 years, there are so many opportunities to buy a business, to invest in a business, more than one business, to be an operator and get a business exit ready, to sell your business if you play your part in the system. Um, so basically, I want to get closer. I want to get into diving in here. So please excuse some of the rough little things over here. I'm not used to doing this. I'm going to try and do it the best that I can. And I can guarantee you that it's going to get better. This is not my first and last. And I will be mindful of the time and everything so that it's not boring. Please, I don't want to lose you. Uh, this is going to be great. And I can guarantee you by the end of this video, you are going to not be able to unsee some of the things that I've showed you over here, some of the maybe tools that you can use, some of the tips that I'm going to give you is just going to open this world for you where you're going to see either in your own business where you're going wrong, where you're going right. When if you're looking at other businesses, you're going to see kind of the same thing. I'm going to show you these patterns, and believe me, I respect you because you're a business owner or you're a broker, you're an operator, and you do your best and you do everything that you can. But let me tell you, if you look from a different perspective, um, and you pay attention to what some people are saying from a different perspective, it might just do you some real good. And why not, right? Why wouldn't you want to improve your situation? Why wouldn't you want to get into the next chapter of your life? Cool. So, one of the biggest problems as a business owner is if you were to take a 2 week vacation right now, let's talk about an electrical contracting business because that's one that I've actually identified here that I'm going to walk through. So, does your electrical contracting business keep making money? Or does it completely fall apart or in part fall apart? So, the brutal truth is that around 80% of electrical contracting businesses are unsellable. Why? Because the owner hasn't built a business, they've just built a high stress 70-hour job for themselves, 70-hour per week job for themselves. And so in this video, we're breaking down the exact blueprint to fix this. So if you're an operator, you learn how to step away from the tools and double your value. And if you're a seller, we'll basically map out your perfect multi-million dollar exit. And if you're a buyer, well, this is if you're a multi-million dollar kind of company. But if you're a buyer, I'm going to show you exactly how to spot the hidden traps rather, before you sign a contract. So let's get into it. Okay, I'm going to try and navigate this whole mamma jamma now. So I found a business for sale in the garden route. So we're in South Africa right now. The garden route around the Cape area or the Cape region. And today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to analyze this business exactly as I would if I were considering buying it. I'm not going to tell you whether you should buy it. Please don't get me wrong. We're just going to work through the information that's actually available, identify what looks interesting, and then identify what we still need to know. All right, let me share this. Let's get the right setup over here. Let's get that one. Oh, man. Guys, please just, there we go. Just be patient with me. I'm gonna get so good at this. I tell you what, you guys are gonna love it. I'm gonna be all polished up like a diamond. All right, cool. So there are a number of sites that I go to. One of them is Businesses for Sale, South Africa. I also go and look at some broker sites, which we'll get into at some other time. So basically, if you go into Businesses for Sale, into this site, you can see that there are different options over here. In the menu, you can put a business in over here and search. There are some featured businesses, and then you can go per category. So you can also pay attention to the number of businesses or listings that are in each category. So it's quite interesting seeing the number of food businesses versus the number of farms. Now, as you go through, you have to realize some economical challenges in the country and globally, and so that is very interesting when you look at businesses in the different sectors. Okay, and then mid-market businesses, and then popular business locations. You can look per region, and there's a whole lot of stuff that you can go take a look at. There are some blogs and things like that that'll basically give you guidance as well. But I'll be sharing this stuff anyhow with you. So if we go and take a look at this business that I actually want to share with you. Sorry, I just saw that there was something going on with my software over here. I don't know. What? I'm on the free plan. Okay, I guess I've got to pay. Cool. To upgrade this, which is fine. Okay, cool. I'd like to change this scene. So what I want to do, okay, what I'm trying to do is just share. I want to share the document itself. Okay, cool. Okay, so here I'm going to show you businesses for sale, business report. You can basically get this yourself from the site on any business that you're interested in. So let's say about the business, trusted electrical contracting business for sale. Spark your success, power your future. Okay, If you're looking for a small, manageable business with lots of potential that offers stability, strong relationships, and the satisfaction of delivering an essential service, this opportunity deserves your attention. Okay, this well established, owner operated. So pay attention now because we're going to talk about this. Well established, how many years? Owner operated. We'll get into that. Trusted electrical contracting business is based in the Garden Route, Western Cape, South Africa. Okay, now we know where it is. It's built an excellent reputation through years of reliable service, personal quality workmanship, and honest customer relationships. Interesting things. The business enjoys a loyal base of repeat residential and commercial clients, generating consistent work through referrals and long standing customer trust. Okay, so, all right. So basically, the first thing here that I can say, there's one question I'm going to keep coming back to throughout this analysis. Am I buying a business or am I buying the owner's job? Okay, and you're going to see why I'm asking that. All right. So this is a trusted electrical contracting business in the Garden Route in Western Cape. All right. The listing says it's well established, owner operated, and has built an excellent reputation through reliable service, personal quality workmanship, and customer relationship. It says they have a loyal repeat residential commercial clients, and that work comes through referrals and long-standing customer trust. So immediately I'm interested because those things can be valuable. All right. The asking price. Let's take a look over there. There we see the asking price, the asset value, stock value, yearly net profit, and monthly profit. And that's basically what they give us here. Look, if you want more, you're going to need to sign a due diligence. You're going to need to get in contact with a broker. And then the thing is, I mean, you can imagine how many tire kickers there are. So you need to be serious in order to be considered and furnished with all the information that you need. But other than that, we can still do a very good analysis of this. So the asking price is 740,000 Rand, and uh, that would basically, I think, around, if you say in dollars, 740,000. What is that? Around $30,000. Divided by 60. It's around 45,000 US dollars. Can you imagine 45,000 US dollars to buy a business? I mean, come on, you guys must be smiling at this, right? At this point. So the listing gives a monthly profit as, say, 28,000 Rand, an annual net profit of 328,193. Let's just round it up to 329,000. So if I do a very simple calculation, 740,000 divided by 329,000 gives us roughly 2.2 times annual stated profit. So another way of looking at this is that the stated annual profit is about 44% of the asking price. So on the surface, that's interesting. But I want to stop right here because this is where I think people can get themselves into trouble when looking at businesses for sale. You see the price, you see the profit, you do the calculation, and you think that looks cheap. But we haven't asked the most important question yet. Who is actually producing that profit? Remember, it's owner operated. So the listing specifically tells us this is an owner operated business. Now, owner operated isn't automatically bad. In fact, it might be part of why the business has low overheads and works efficiently. But as a buyer, it creates a very important question. What does the owner actually do? Are they doing electrical work? Are they quoting? Are they bringing in new customers? Are they managing suppliers? Are they handling complaints? Are they doing the reviews? Are they scheduling jobs? Are they making all the important decisions? So, this is why I mentioned in the beginning traffic system skills, right? Because traffic is basically what are you doing to get attention to your business or to your brand? And that's usually broken up into three areas to simplify it. It's organic, or it's ventures or and collabs, or it's paid ads, right? And so, what are they doing in that area? And then systems, what are they doing in terms of systems to quote, systems to do job scheduling, systems to handle complaints, compliments, things like that, reviews and whatnot. And then obviously managing, the cash flow of the business, accounts, things like that. And so if the owner is doing five different jobs, I need to understand what happens when the owner leaves. Okay. So here's the questions I'd ask as a buyer. Am I buying a business or am I buying someone's job? And I don't mean that negatively at all. If the owner has built a great business and happens to be the person running it, that's completely understandable. The question is simply how much of the profit belongs to the business and how much depends on the person. So, from a traffic perspective, let's look at this through my operator lens, right? The first thing I would look at is traffic. So where do customers come from? The listing tells us there are repeat customers, referrals, residential customers, and commercial customers, and that's good. But here's what I don't know yet. Do these customers belong to the business or do they belong to the owner? If the owner leaves tomorrow, do the customers still call the business? Or do they call the owner's cell phone or mobile device? That's a very different business, all right? In terms of systems, the listing, says it has efficient systems. Great. But as a buyer, I'd want to know what that actually means. Um, Again, how quotes generated, how jobs scheduled, how invoices followed up, customer complaints, orders on materials, who manages suppliers, and it goes on, right? Mm, there's a big difference between a system that the owner operates and a system that allows somebody else to operate the business. And that's a very important distinction. Um, Now, in terms of skills, look at what the listing says that this business is suited to. A qualified electrician, an existing electrical contractor, or an entrepreneur with appropriate technical management in place. That tells me something. Obviously, skills matter. But if I'm an entrepreneur who isn't an electrician, I may need to buy the business and retain the technical capability that currently makes the business work. So here's my question. What happens to the 329,000 Rand profit if the buyer isn't the person currently doing the technical work? We don't know. And that's okay. I'm not saying the business is bad. I'm saying we don't know yet. Hmm. Okay, I'm going to try to just navigate. Okay, normalizing. Yeah. So this is where I'd start normalizing the profit. Let's say purely as an example that the owner is doing a significant amount of technical work. And let's imagine that replacing that person costs around 250,000 Rand a year. I'm not saying that's the case here. We'd need the actual information. But if it were true, suddenly that 329,000 Rand profit looks very different. So the stated profit is the 329,000 less owner replacement cost. gives you a normalized profit. We're not sure exactly what that number is, and that's why I don't want to simply buy the number on the listing. Now let's look at another interesting number. The asset value is listed at 75,000, but the asking price, remember, is 740,000. So there's roughly 665,000 rand between the stated asset value and the asking price. Is that a problem? Not necessarily, because I'm not necessarily buying the assets. I could be buying customers, reputation, relationships, future cash flow, um, systems, the skills, call it goodwill. But I need to know what I'm paying that extra 665,000 for. So, from a seller's perspective, if we turn this around, if I were the seller, I wouldn't want someone looking at 75,000 Rand of assets and saying, well, that's all it's worth. Because a business has apparently spent years building reputation, customers, repeat work, referrals, cash flow. And those things have value. The seller's job is to help me understand why. Why is this business worth 740,000 Rand? My job as a buyer is to test whether that value survives a change of ownership. Here's one test I really like. What happens if the owner isn't here for 30 days? Not literally. We're just going to use it as a thought experiment, right? So, do customers still arrive? Do quotes still go out? Do jobs still get scheduled? Can people make decisions? Does money still come in? And this takes us right back again to the traffic, systems, and skills. Can the business attract customers? Can it deliver consistently? Can people other than the owner make it work? If I was seriously interested in this business, here's some questions that I'd want answered, right? So where did the last 20 customers come from? Let's give it a number, 20. How many are repeat customers? How many customers personally deal with the owner? And from a systems perspective, what happens when the owner is away? What systems are documented? Who currently manages the day to day operation? Remember, if you have people that one or more people that are managing the day to day operation, you actually have a potential operator. And that opens up a whole world of opportunities there too. So, how much technical work does the owner personally perform? Who else can do it? That's very important. And what would need to be replaced after the sale? So, what is exactly included in the 329,000 net profit? Are there owner expenses? What salary or replacement cost would a new owner need? Okay, so where do I stand? Would I buy it? I don't know yet. And I think that's actually the correct answer. Based purely on the listing, I'm interested enough to investigate further. The stated relationship between asking price and profit is interesting. The established customer base sounds interesting. The location sounds interesting. But the biggest unanswered question is the owner dependency. And this is where I come in as an operator. I'm interested in what happens before, during, and after ownership changes. If I were preparing this business for sale, I'd want to start reducing unnecessary dependency. Not because the owner is doing something wrong, and not because the team is incapable. It's actually quite the opposite. The goal is to create a business where the people that are capable can make decisions, and obviously your customers can have a consistent experience, and the owner has more choices. Okay, so I tell you something that we can actually look at. I'm going to take you for a little walk over here. So let me stop sharing that, and then let me just show you something over here quick. me show you something very interesting. This is where the picture is going to open for you. And if you paid, if you're still here, thank you. I mean, we're 25 minutes in. Thank you so much. It's going to get better. I swear to you, this is going to get better. But I just have to share this with people. I have to share this with people. So let me share you something that's going to open up this whole world for you. And here goes. I'm sharing the screen. Alrighty. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, now let me show you. Check this out. Electrician businesses. What did they say? They said what? George. Right? They said garden route. Okay. Now check this out, folks. This is where you see all the companies basically come up. The prominent electrical businesses, right? And so what you can do, you can even go to maps and you can have a good look-see over here as to all the businesses in this area. Okay. I think I'm in the wrong area here. Just get that right. Sorry about this, folks. Just trying to get this. Okay. All right, so there we go. Here we have all these businesses. All right. Okay, that looks a little bit better. All right, we're on the right track. So I don't know what business that listing is representing. But if you take the time, you can go and take a look at some of the stuff, and it'll give you a very good idea, probably as to what business this is. Now, maybe in private sessions, I could maybe find which business this most probably is, but I'm not going to do it on this video over here. I don't think it would be ethical to do that neither. So if you click on these businesses, right, folks, take a quick look over here. If you click on these businesses, you see there are photos. Okay, now remember what I was saying. Traffic system skills, right? Here we're going to the traffic. This affects traffic. What are people seeing about the business? Let's say it was this business. What are people seeing about this business? There's a camera, there's a toolbox, there's just that this is all that we're seeing about the business. All right. We see there are 19 reviews. Okay. 19 5-star reviews. If we look at the latest reviews, the newest, you can see, okay, 3 weeks ago, nice, good 5-star. 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago. All right, you can see he's operating, he's quite busy. Okay, you can go to, all right, let's just screen through this stuff now quick. All right, now after this one here, Luke's electricians, Luke's 1 verse 37. Okay, if you go to the next one, you see Mesheg Electrical. There's 6 reviews. Elegant Construction, 4 reviews. Electrical 24-hour Solar Africa, 25 reviews. Rods Electrical, no reviews. That's already a concern if there's no reviews, right? So this business, remember in the listing, they said that they have a good reputation, a good client base, loyal client base and all that. So they must have a decent amount of reviews. Gen Smart Electrical, let's say this were the business that's in the listing, all right? We see some photos over there. Let's take a look and see what the business looks like. What are they advertising? Okay, I can tell you right off the bat, this is very neat work. Look at that nice cabling. Look at the cables, how nice and clean that is. That's one thing I can definitely tell you. Look at that. He even pulled the circles in over there. That's good workmanship, guys. That's good workmanship. Look how nice they tied this up over there. Decent work. If you know anything about this, that will impress you. So if you're looking to buy a business, these are the sorts of things you want to look for. You want to look for those first principles, right, of their craft. Those are generators with control boxes. So obviously they set all of that up with controllers in and all that. I know that because of my background. There's solar. Look at the nice stands that they did. That looks very neat. Again, generators. Look at that nice cabling and everything. Very neat. Look at that. Very neat. Oh, there's another solar operation. Look how neat that work is. Look at that wiring and those conduits and everything. Beautiful. Look at this, how clean this is and how safe it is. Look at that. Very, very well done. Look how nice the cabling looks there. They do gate motors as well. Okay, cool. Do you see how much we're learning about this business already? If this business were the listing, already you can see there's great workmanship here. You can see that they really love what they do. Look how neat this looks, man. That's beautiful. They love what they do. All right? They really do. You can see that. And there's some detail over there. Electrical contractors. All right. Let's look at that. All right. Very good. Very good. Here's some nice brochures and catalog pages and all that they have. Very cool. Can you see all the photos that they have? It's very cool. So this gives you a very good feeling already of this business. So we can notice that they don't have a website. All right. So that is something now you got to remember, and this falls part of the skills and systems pillar, but more the systems, because now they don't have a system to take the traffic and put the traffic in the right qualifying channels, funnels, so that their sales can basically be more optimized. Uh, okay, so let's take a look over here. I want to go to one that has a website. Oh man, this damn thing. Guys, I'm trying to navigate this. It's okay, I'm doing this a little bit faster now. Okay, so give me that. Add to scene. There we go. Boom. All right, I'm getting the hang of this software, guys. I'm going to make it really cool. I'm going to make it better. All right, cool. So we take a look at the website. You can see, for example, connection is secure. That's all good. Okay, awesome. So customers' data is going to be good. If this were the business that you're looking at buying, you can see the website looks very nice. They do solar, electrical, finance, inside. Oh, there's quite a bit. If you go to the About page, you can see over here that they explain to you what it is that they do. Some nice photos there. You can see company vehicles, things like that. Very, very nice. Very nice. All the details, all of that. Very cool. So if you go to the home page, let's see what they're doing. All right, the website looks good. Okay, nice. There they have their reviews. Very cool. So what you want to do is you want to look at the system over here that basically funnels prospect customers and converts them, and obviously managing them after sales too. All right, so what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to just show you one of these businesses here. As you can see, we've taken a look at a few of these businesses. So I'm not showing the actual business that's for sale. I don't exactly know which business, what the business name is. Okay, so take a look here. If we were to assume that this Nell Electrical was the business for sale, look at this again. Overview. Okay, you can see there are 16 reviews. If we take a look at the reviews, newest, you can basically go in 3 weeks ago, a 1-star review. 4 months ago, they know their stuff. 4 months ago, excellent friendly service. They go beyond their customers. So can you see there's already a story like kind of unfolding over here? Like what, here 11 months ago, now Solar Electrical, solar inverter installations, great advice and service. George and his team is best by far. Excellent service always. So this was going really great, and then now there's not a complaint, but a 1-star review. So obviously there's a reason why that has happened. Something else over here that you notice is that no one really replies. You don't see the owner replying to the reviews, of which is very important. Obviously, if you want to make more money, generate more revenue, do more sales, have more profit, you need to engage with some of the rules of the game, right? And this is one of the things that you need to do. All right, anyhow, they don't have a website. So we're going to take a look, see. All right, you know what? I'm just going to try to go to another site over here because I'm trying to show you the journey over here, which is, by the way, when buyers are looking at your listing, first thing they do is they get their phone out or they get the laptop out and they start searching the internet looking for your business. So obviously, I mean, what would you think if they were to land on Google and there's not a lot of information about you? They land on your website, there's not a lot of information. What does that say about you, right? See, these businesses don't really have social media channels, which is quite important because you want to have social media channels that you can show people what your business is about. Look at this. This is not found. Look at that. You can't even get this business. Who's that? That's Johan. I mean, we don't even know, are these people in operation still or not? And then we have directories, right? That's a directory. If we go Elliott Electrical, just trying to see if there are social media links. I can't really see anything over here. So we can't really see if they have social media channels and what exactly. I mean, we're trying to see what these guys do and how they. All right, well, there we go. Here's the owner of this business, right? There you can see hands-on founder, lead technical at Suidkaap Elektriese en Water with over a decade of experience in electric. So, founded, installed by, it's built to meet the growing demand for energy infrastructures. Deep experience. Okay. Oh man, would you believe? Can you imagine if this were the one that's for sale? Certified electrical offerings. Garden Route in South Cape region. This could be the business for sale. We're unsure. We're not sure. But now, again, the problem. There's no social media icons, nothing. And here, website designed by these guys, and they're not doing that for this business. It kind of, I'm sorry guys, for me, it just kind of upsets me because these guys should be okay. Well, we don't know if they have suggested this to the owner and the owner turned it down. So I'll cut them some slack over there. But I mean, I'd want to really ramp this up, man. If we're going to sell this business, I want to get everything sorted. So you know how you've probably sold a car before, right? So when you sell your car and you get ready to take photos of your car, okay? First thing you do is you look and you say, oh, it's dirty. It needs a wash, right? And you take the car for a wash. And while you're there, you think, you know what? While we're washing it outside, let's clean the inside, right? So let's do a bit of a valet. Let's clean the seats. Let's clean everything inside. They bring the vacuum cleaner in there, and they get everything nice and clean. You might even opt to do the engine compartment, and say like, just lift up the hood over there, get inside there, clean it up all nicely, possibly underneath if you can, and all of that. Because when the potential buyer comes to inspect that vehicle, you don't want them to mess with your desired price. You want to show them that, this is the condition of the vehicle and you've possibly made some effort. It's usually nice to make some effort. And so you now are ready and you're done and you start taking photos. And you might realize, you know what, this doorknob, the lock doorknob or something needs to be replaced. I mean, if you have something like that. Or, maybe the radio is all scratchy, right? So when you put the volume up or down, maybe a button's broken or something like that, and you're going to look for a replacement. Heck, I replaced a radio CD player with Bluetooth on the last vehicle that I sold because I knew that the buyer was going to sit in the car, switch the radio on, and put the sound up to hear what it sounds like. I mean, this is how it works, right? So I replaced the radio, and yes, the person that bought the vehicle actually did stay on my desired value that I wanted because the sound was good, the condition was good of like the steering, the gear knob, the pedals. I put new carpets in. So the original floor carpet, the factory carpet, was in good condition, and I always had carpets in there, right? And I threw those carpets out, and I replaced the carpets when I sold the vehicle because you want it to smell nice and clean, to have a new feel, and that way I got my price, and it really helped me. And so if you've done the same before, then you realize the value of just cleaning up that vehicle a little bit so that you can get great photos and so that you're transparent with a potential buyer. Now, are you going to change the engine? Are you going to upgrade the chassis and the shocks and all of that? No, you're not going to do that. The new owner can do that. But you just want to get it to a nice state, right? Same thing with a house. Have you ever tried to sell a house? Um, Same thing. When you're taking photos, you see if there are some real bad places that needs a little bit of paint, and you bring a garden service in to cut the trees, trim the shrubs and bushes and whatnot. That basically helps to help get your desired price. So this is what you want to do from a brick and mortar perspective and a digital perspective. But I would say prioritize on the digital perspective, because first thing that people do when they hear that your business is for sale is they go to their phones or they go to the laptop and they start searching for you, and they start going through everything. They'll start at Google and they look at your reviews, and they're going to start looking at some of the images that you have. If you looked early on in this video, then you would see that the photos actually give a good picture of the business and the workmanship of the business as well. And so you go from there and you look at the reviews and you see what people are saying about the business. And you might notice that there's a website. You go to the website, you see the website looks good, or it doesn't, or there's no website, like what we saw earlier on in this video. And you can see that there are either social media channels or there are not. If there are social media channels and they post on these social media channels, that ticks the box on traffic. That means they are making an effort to bring more traffic in and to continue this momentum of traffic, which continues the momentum of sales, orders, jobs, right? So why wouldn't you want to work on that? Okay. So after that whole rant, so a business doesn't just become valuable because someone puts a price on it. It becomes valuable when we understand what produces the money that it does, and whether that money survives the change of ownership. And that's what I'm trying to figure out here. And one important note while I'm screen sharing is we don't know yet. But already, I bet you, if you were sitting and going through some of the stuff and you actually you focused on some of these elements, uh, that you might have already identified yourself, for yourself, some key topics and key questions that you would like to ask the broker. Uh, and similarly, you can actually go onto Google and you can go take a look at some of those businesses. All right. So I tell you what, if you want to jump off, you can jump off. Uh, I'm going to do one of these walkthroughs as often as I can, but I'm going to ask you to hold me accountable over here, and that every week I'm going to do one of these. And so, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to give a downloadable sheet that you can basically check out on what I have put together based on the walkthrough that we did here. So, in other words, we look at the listing, the things that I noticed about that listing, pros and cons. Remember, we don't know yet, we don't have facts yet, but some things that can actually generate some very powerful questions, which, if we were to get those questions answered, will give us very important information, which could help you sell this business easier, get a buyer to enjoy the purchase of this business, the transition or the handover, and then the new journey. And similarly with the operator can basically help to bridge this gap. And the operator can have a list of tasks and activities that they can actually put in force and get these things done. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at a business over here. I'm going to try and find an electrical business that actually has a social media account. Can you believe this? GA Electrical. Let's take a look at these guys. I'm still not seeing social media links. There we go. Let's take a look at these guys, right? Now, just bear with me here. Tell me the type of feeling that you're getting from this, right? I'm just going in there. I see it's on Facebook. So we're going into Facebook now. Now. Boom. Right, let's take a look over here. What do we have, guys? Right, we have Group GA, Positive Outcomes Group GA. They have 315 followers, 14 that they for. Whatever your electrical challenge, we are ready to help. Just call. There's the number. Okay. Now, let me tell you quickly just a few things that you look at over here. Okay, we don't want to go crazy here and do a whole analysis here. Sorry, I just saw links here. Groupga.co.uk. All right, I see this is now going UK. All right, whatever. Let's look at this business quick. Let me just show you a few things, right? So July the 16th was the last time that they posted, and they posted this. All right. Now, this is probably a bit of a joke or the lighter side of things, whatever. From July, we say April, right, was before that. Now, look here, there were no comments or anything like that over here. All right. Before that was April the 22nd. Paul is building the final BMS panel for a London project. Okay. That looks good. That looks very impressive. Look how neat and tidy that looks. And now we kind of have an idea of Paul. But that was April, and that was way before. So we have July, June, May, April. I mean, 2 months or so before that was the last post, and then with 3 thumbs up, and then October 2025. So can you see here that they are not doing much on social media to bring the traffic in? And so why I'm showing you this is because you need to look at this and compare it to businesses that you're analyzing, that you're researching when you're looking to buy them. Look at some samples of other businesses. Look at what they're doing digitally. It's very difficult to see what they're doing in brick and mortar, but that you find out if you are at that point where you're very serious and you want to sit down and you sign the NDA and you want to look at the due diligence and all of that. But this gives you a very good idea of what you could be getting yourself into, right? And then obviously what questions to ask. Look how neat and tidy that is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful sight. Look at that. I love it. Wow. Well done, guys. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Okay, I'm going to head on out now. I think what we can do, I'm going to take a look at this and see how I can improve this video and this experience for you. I will be upgrading the software. Thank you for bearing with me. I know this is going to be valuable for some people. Please leave some comments. Give me an idea of what you're looking at, what you're not understanding. Am I rambling on? Uh, Feel free to leave your comments. Let's get down to the core valuable information here, guys. That's going to help you invest your money, either become financially free, retire. It's going to help you in maybe you don't invest a part or with shares. Maybe you buy the entire business. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what your blessings have in store for you? But I'd like to say thank you very much. And if you subscribe, if you follow me on this channel, I guarantee you I'm going to give you some great content coming up. I'm going to get on the next best thing over here to give you some better views and stuff like that. And thank you very much. Ciao.